Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. First things first. My peoples come first. My people that are here. My people that are no longer here. Thought of and always remembered. Now, odd time. I know. Odd time. Vader Games doing an episode of 115. One question, 15 minutes at. I mean, it's 9 p.m. over here in Toronto, but it's the only time I was able to get done dealing with some things family wise. And unfortunately, I have a family member in the hospital. So a couple of things to arrange around. But I wanted to do this show. And actually, in all honesty, I, sorry. In all honesty, I wanted to do my CIA intelligent agendas. But I also realized there's one more game. There's a Spurs game. So I'm going to delay the CIA intelligent agendas because obviously it's a nice recap of the games played as well as intelligent agendas for our rivals and defending against rivals. So I'm going to do that tomorrow night after the Spurs game. But I want to thank you all for being a part of the show and what I do with every show, whether it's 115, whether it's Why Always Me, and whether it's Citizens Neighborhood Watch or CIA. I shout out who's first in the building. Person that's taken the time to actually drop that first comment. More often than not, they've hit the like button and they've dropped that comment. So I want to thank them. And on this show in particular, the first name that I got to shout out is Dre P. Dre P in the building, keeping it 100. Not 100, not 100%, 100. He's keeping it 100. The win does give confidence. I agree. Why, in my opinion, for far from best 11. I agree. Far from our best starting 11 and best performance. Of course, can't be our best performance. First game of the season. On top of that, Savinho injury probably spared Chelsea getting beat more than 2-0. I agree. Savinho's injury, I haven't seen the post-game press conference. I haven't heard what Pep had to say. Hopefully it's something light and just precautionary, like just getting him off the pitch. Obviously bringing Foden on a little sooner than expected, but hopefully all that's calm. But large up Dre P with the first comment. And my dude, Steve Strasburg, Steve in the building. You know what it is, United fan. I wonder how he's doing. I wonder how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling about the weekend. AJ, yes, Vader. You know what we got to do, AJ. You know what we got to do. We got to flex on him. We got that win over Chelsea. We gotta flex. We gotta flex, and we're cool about it. You know what I mean? Because you got the shades emoji, 100%. Dre P, the intro compilation reel is a win. Thank you. I'm working on something. I'm actually working on a little outro that I want to make specific per show, and I also want to show how things kind of progress. Let me know what you think. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, but I also want to show that, hey, what I'm getting from you guys in terms of the interactions, it's meaning a lot. So I'm going to get back with what I do with regards to updating the show. My dude, Brian in the building, he goes, Savinho said he knows exactly what the knee pain was. Don't know if this is a good or bad thing. Yeah. I mean, how do I put this? We all know what's kind of like that little pain. Oh, you know, that in my elbow that always happens and not something serious. Hopefully what he experienced within his knee, maybe it's like how he had to brace or how he felt that collision, he's okay. Speaking of another collision too, I was losing my mind. I was yelling at the top of my voice, and I'm gonna start the clock, get the show going. But I was yelling at the top of my voice when um, Doku and KDB were kind of like avoiding each other, but then you had Caicedo just barreling through them, and KDB was down for a while. I was losing it. I was like, oh, please, because KDB did not. He took his time moving. He was down for a long time, and then we eventually, not having a really strong attacking opportunity, we eventually like kicked it out. But I was stressed. Dre P, Brian, I was stressed. Pep said it's not too serious, recurring niggle apparently. Okay, all right, good looking out, Dre P. The intro only keeps getting better, babe. Hey, AJ, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I got my little one working on. He's got this nice kind of music making program, loops and all that kind of stuff. So I'm messing around with a few things. Glad you guys like it. And no card is crazy. I don't know how he does it. He legit gets away with, I think, three should be yellows. Three should be yellows before he gets that yellow, and then he plays on that borderline. But he always kind of looks like out of control, like off balance. The thing I have to give him though is if he's going to hit you, kind of like Fernandinho, if he's going to hit you, he's going to hit you. It's like, hey, you're gonna feel that collision. Chelsea could have and should have gotten more cards. Yeah, they should have gotten. We shouldn't have been the first to get a yellow card. There were also Holland constantly. Dre P, I'm gonna have to do. That's gonna be. You know what, Dre P? That's gonna be one of these. And I talked about it kind of last season. I mentioned it as like Shaq rules. Yes, North American NBA basketball, but Shaq was a enormous player, stronger than the majority of other centers that he had to play against. And they had different rules against him. Referees seem to let a lot more physicality be applied to him than any other players. And I think they're doing the same thing to Holland. Holland towers over many players. Enzo was guarding him on corners. He's trying to mark him on corners, and everything you kept seeing him like, they're acting like, hey, I'm not touching him, but they're always hugging him. And I think Holland deserved. Oh, did we score off of it? I think Holland deserved a non-foul call during one of those. I think it was a corner in the game. I still have to go back and watch it. But I appreciate the comments, and I'm gonna get the show started. Let's be honest. If we play each other, Rice or Partey did what Caicedo did, they are gone. Yeah. Uh, Rice might get the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't play on the edge like that. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I think Partey would barreling like that because again, also Caicedo's not as tall in stature, so yeah, they look the other way. I think. Yeah, Holland is definitely getting the hack a Shack treatment. That's right, Brian. Hack a Shack, exactly. That's what they're doing. All right, let me get the clock going because I want to respect everyone's time here. Large up to Stefan as well. He goes, big up Vader. What did you make of the game today? Let me get into it. And also, I'm going to put a few things on screen, which I normally do in Why Always. Sorry. I usually do it in Why Always Me. I happen to do it in CIA when we have the time a little bit. But let me get this started. Clock starting. Brand on point. You know what it is. Vader game. All right. First, let me say this because I got to say it. The jerseys actually, the jerseys are growing more and more on me. Like the traditional home kit, even with the design, you see it right up there. I'm liking it, and I keep forgetting that there's a little bit of that like trim on the side. So is Manchester City getting me to buy 3 jerseys this season? It's a wait and see. Obviously, I got this one, history making for Pete, right? This the history making for Pete. I've already got the Paul Dickoff. That maroon has my name on it. Yeah. Let's see what kind of history we make this season before I decide on the home kit. But let me get into it. And I see Stefan asking about things. Let me take this up. Boom. Now, you see it. Dre P mentioned it earlier at the jump. Why the win versus Chelsea should give City confidence. I'm gonna be real simple with it. I'm gonna be 100% real. The agendas don't happen on 115. The agendas are for CIA intelligent agendas. But we went into this game and just really quick, let's go over the starting lineup, right? We had Rico Lewis trusted at right back. We had Akanji, Diaz, and Gavardio, right? And obviously we have Ederson, best keeper in the Prem. So that all that is pretty calm, although it was surprising to see the trust being given to Rico, considering how quick and attacking Chelsea can be. But we had Rico playing with no Walker. And then in the midfield, and this is where it's like, woo, we're going into this midfield with no Rodri, but we got Kovacic, and we had obviously Bernardo Silva at stints, depending on how Chelsea were going to set up. I think it was supposed to be a consistent double pivot. with KDB, with Holland now, and Savio or Savino, sorry, and Doku. I thought all that was calm, all that was pretty clean. But based off of how we are being defended against and how attacking we were, we saw Bernardo Silva playing pretty high up the pitch. And obviously KDB doesn't really have those defending responsibilities as well, playing pretty far up. But that starting 11 without Rodri, without Foden, right? It's like we got something. We got some because Chelsea are not a bad club, despite whatever drama they had last season. Just getting into their final standings, but since that, or since the start of the new year, 2024, they've been a very good club, and even in their preseason, they've been good. So, I thought who Pep trusted meant a lot. Who Pep trusted for us to get the win meant a lot. And if we want to think maybe right now, our most trusted, maybe most City fans would say we'd want maybe a Kanji Diaz or a Kanji Stones Diaz Gavardiol or a Kanji again. I'm saying a Kanji, that's excluding Rico, that's excluding Walker, but we can even get stronger defensively. And midfield, we're instantly better with a Rodri. So the more I've been talking about this, the more I've been thinking about it. If our title rivals, all right, if our title rivals in Arsenal don't go out and get anybody else, if Liverpool continue to not go out and get anybody else, if United go out and get players, I mean, I think that raises them up, but I don't think that takes them to title challengers. So we as a club, maybe everyone in the boardroom can be like, oh, things are kind of calm. We can do what we need to do to get through the season. And then us winning the net spend trophy for this year, maybe we go out next year and we go out crazy aggressive. Maybe we make moves like a Real Madrid where we go and say, this superstar, we're getting you. Like 3 years ago when we went out and got Holland, maybe that's what we do this upcoming summer, right? I'm already thinking about the upcoming summer where we're still in the summer. But you know what I mean? We could be going into this year saying, yeah, we got enough. Now, the part that's going to be stress, the part that's going to bring out more of these platinums is injury. Seeing Savio go down, me yelling at the top of my voice when KDB went down. That's the thing that's going to be a little stressful. But squad-wise versus Chelsea today, we should be extremely confident. Because I think we can lean a lot on the experience. I think we can definitely do that. We're going to have a few things go our way in terms of luck, and luck is going to be on the health side. But how the players played was nice. I'm going to put this on screen because I want to point this out real quick. And also, YouTube, this is strictly for learning purposes. This is for studying and learning purposes, educational purposes. So do not copy strike me with what you see on screen right now. But I wanted to put this up there, all right? And what I want to point out is the reason why we can be extremely confident. The reason why we can be extremely confident with that. And I don't know if you can see the ball right now, but the ball's falling right here. Oh, you don't even see my cursor. It's fallen just where Gavardiol is right now. And I'm gonna play this for a sec. Okay. Actually, I'm so surprised that doesn't play. But you see how it's kind of fallen, and now Bernardo Silva is going to cut that pass through in between of the ref right there and have it get to KDB. That's KDB. You can see the ball just there. It's getting to KDB's foot. This is why we can be really confident. This is why we can be really confident because you know what KDB does here? KDB squares up, drops the shoulder, paces it out, takes the shot. What we do when we're clicking, when everything's like smooth synergy, right? All the fellas, they've gone out for dinner, they've had some drinks. They know what the other's thinking, right? When you're getting into that portion of the season where everyone's on the same page, KDB, one, first and foremost, he's putting that on target if he takes that shot. But also, what does the player tied with the most assists in Prem history, right? In one season, the most assists, he's only tied with the other great in terms of Thierry Henry. But what does KDB, if he doesn't shoot it and put it on target, what does he do? He puts it on a plate. Puts it on a plate. And you know who he would have put that on a plate for? That would have been Foden over there. And we know what Foden does with that left foot. So there's a lot that we can be confident on with regards to this game. And I'm going to show another highlight a little later. But let me go to the comments. Dre P goes, liked what I saw today from the midfield. I still think Bernardo can be the Gundo replacement. I think City were just sloppy and didn't release the ball early enough, and those turned the ball over a lot. Yeah, Dre P, I think that does drive me crazy too. Releasing passes for Holland, releasing passes for even a midfielder. Also, I kind of feel we don't do enough of like triangle 1-2 advancing passes. Like no one can really in our midfield, no one's gonna kill anyone with pace until Nunez gets up to speed. Yes, I said it. What we saw, Kova's second goal, that is in Nunez's breadbasket. Him carrying with the ball, ooh, we just need Nunez to gain that confidence, understand how he can play within those pockets, but he would be dangerous like that. But I felt like we weren't releasing passes as well. I agree, and I also feel like there's times where the pass. There were passes to Rico Lewis in particular. Rico often was giving the ball and then showing like, "Hey, send me like pass it here. I'm going for the run. Pass it here," and he wasn't getting it. Dre, yeah, trust me. Yeah, the fact that Kova was trusted by himself in 6, maybe we really aren't making a sign. Brian, I don't think we're making a signing, man. I don't think we're making a signing. I don't think it. I don't think it's happening. And we don't make the signing, it's going to be what it is. I want the Carabao. I want the League Cup. That's all I want. Give me the League Cup. Everything else will be gravy for me this season. Yes, I said it. Everything else will be gravy. JP goes, City had the toughest opening game of the yes, of all the challengers, we had the toughest game, 100%. Liverpool had Ipswich. We got Ipswich next week, and I watched that game. That game was at 7:30 a.m. my time. I watched the game. Ipswich aren't bad. They aren't bad. The Lap looked really good too. The Lap's going to be a player. He's big club's going to go out to sign him soon enough. Arsenal had Wolves. You're right. And Villa had second toughest versus West Ham. That was a good game actually. That was a good game. So I would take it into consideration. I'm happy with it. Ipswich we got next week at home. That's going to be a nice home energy will be incredible. But yeah, we had the toughest, and that's why for week 1 that was the most important game. That's why we had all eyes. We had all eyes. Stefan goes, I think Vader has some of the best perspectives amongst all City content creators. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just being me. You know what I mean? I'm just being me. Some want to hate on me. I mean, listen, my thumbnails, let me actually talk about what I do in terms of content-wise, but also my thumbnails, there's no filters on it. Ugly or handsome, however you want to describe me, that's me. No filters. All right? No AI-generated images. That's me. But I appreciate it. Good looking out. I try my best. And again, maybe it's because I try to listen to everybody, and I also just step away. I have my own take on it. A lot of these games I watch with my minions. I got a young prince and a young princess, and they ask me lots of questions. So I think that's how I'm able to be objective. AJ goes, Vader, I can tell you this for free. If Man U club doesn't land that 9, we 5-peat. If Arsenal don't get a killer 9, it might be deja vu. If you guys don't get that killer 9, it might be deja vu, because I think that's the biggest thing missing. But what's the right profile? I think Arsenal's been making a lot of moves to get profiles that are like 3, 4-year, 5-year signings. I don't know. I don't know if it works out, but hey, if you guys don't, if we keep it all as is, yeah, we got the edge. Dre P, I wouldn't be surprised if City are saving money for post Pep era. A new manager may need an overhaul. Yeah, Dre, that new era post Pep is gonna be nuts. That's gonna be nuts. Let's not think about it right now. AJ, Dre P, I honestly believe Pep is chasing Sir Alex Ferguson 13 Prem titles. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Pep is 53, 54, and already has 6, so he could easily catch him, in my opinion. You know what? Here's the interesting thing. Seems like every generation gets a little younger in terms of how long career goes. I don't know if Pep would manage as long as Sir Alex Ferguson did, but I think Pep will. Pep most likely is chasing, like, he's going to be chasing like the density of his winning. I think he's going to try to do a lot of record breaking, a lot of record setting things as he's winning these titles to kind of put his stamp on things. But sometimes you can't match someone's like legacy in terms of longevity. I don't know if he'll stay at City that long. He loves it here. He does. He says it often. He loves it here. And if rivals want to ignore what he says, then ignore what he says about other things too. Then, but if you're going to believe what Pep says, he says he loves it at City. I can see that, but I think it is more to do with the team wanting certain type of player, like how City did with Holland. Yeah, but you're right. We seem to be having a lot of players sign out. We got a lot of players sign out. We seem to be holding on to some money. We're winning the Netsman Trophy. Hey, I'm a brag about that heavy. I'm gonna brag about that heavy. And I believe in the last 5 seasons we are 11th. That means like the top spenders up here, we are 11th in terms of net spend. Very good. I'm gonna try to find that stat exactly too and share that with you because that's gonna be a great Cite intelligent agenda. AJ, by reports, Mikel Moreno only gets over the line if we have a player go out the door. I mean, you guys are still trying to get Nketiah out, so we'll see. Hit that likes. AJ's right. Hit that likes if you haven't, please. Get the likes up. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to comment, I believe it's on subscribers only. So to comment, you got to subscribe. Be a part of the team. All right. I know I'm falling a little behind on the message, but I'm gonna catch up. I know my ball, bro. You definitely know your ball. Yo, respect. Oh, my gal, my gal, my gal Rose in the building. Good to see you. I mean, I was told, Rose, apologies. I was told that there's a change in how I look and smile when I say your name. So apologies. If you're taken, I'm taken as well. I enjoy seeing you in the chat. I always like your comments. Even when you don't catch me live, you catch me on the replay. Your comments are always on point, and I enjoy you being a part of the show. She goes, "Good night, Vader. I just happened upon your channel. A welcome nightcap. It is. Thank you. You and City can do no wrong." My gal Rose. Dre P in the building. After 4 in a row, I'm happy with City just putting their best effort forward. Dre, you know what? I do want the first trophy of the year if I can. If I'm going to be greedy, if I'm going to ask for something, I'm going to want the first trophy of the year. But if we happen to not win anything else, playing good football, right? Obviously not falling away, not a disastrous one, not like, internal fighting or players crazy injured. I'm okay that we go again. I really am. Like the club is blessing us with some nice partnerships, so we can look excited. We can be excited for things to come. We've got an amazing assortment of jerseys, and there's also the fourth kit. There's also the fourth kit to kind of check out. I need to see that in person, how it looks on screen. I'm not really feeling it, but there's just so much. So if this happens to be a quote unquote down year, I don't think we stress out. We're not going to act up. We're not going to act a fool. Um, if Pep chases down Ferguson, I don't think it will be in one go. I think he'll leave and maybe come back later. Ooh, kind of do like a Jose, like take a break, not fired, but take a break and then come back. I can see it. I can see it. AJ also wants to say huge congratulations. 16, 14 subs. Good. Hey, good looking out. Every little bit counts, right? You're part of what's developing, what's beginning. And I noticed that the clock has stopped. Okay. Officially, the stream's been on for about 28 minutes right now. I spoke about why the win versus Chelsea should give City confidence. And I'm putting a star in the comments because I also want to put this on screen real quick. And I want to point out this Kova goal. All right. It's over here. It's right here. I want to point out this Kova goal. So that's Kova driving with the ball in the midfield. And I think he caught Chelsea by surprise because you know what Kova was doing often throughout the game? He was laying it off, right? Kova was laying the ball off. He was either spreading it wide or he's, kind of recycling it. Rico would be involved as well. But look, he's so much more advanced than KDB right here, okay? KDB is like right there. And then you see Kova driving with the ball. He's got two Chelsea players chasing him. The ref is kind of behind the play. He's trying to get in position. Bernardo looks like he's flat-footed. I had to move out of the way, but that's Bernardo. That's Bernardo right there. You can just see him. He's kind of like flat-footed. But Kova going on this run, who do we often see do this? We often see, not this run in particular, but in past seasons, we would see a Gundogan. We'd easily see a KDB. I think with what we're able to do, and again with Bernardo being able to drop back and forth, a little bit of a double pivot, we adapted well. We adapted well, and we're not going to look the same. This is the thing. This is the thing that I'm going to have to come to terms with, because I do get this way. Is I want us to be able to have a sub, but still kind of play the same way, or still have the same shape, and that may not be the case when we do have to sub off Rodri, because Rodri cannot be playing 90 minutes every time. But if we're going to have players understand their roles, and this is when I was also talking about Nunes, because this is something Nunes can do. Like this is him. This is him. Now, will he have the quality of shot? And we saw some training footage. It looks like he's kind of getting there, but he can drive with that ball. And if he drives with the ball and defenders choose not to hold their width anymore and they come in to kind of close things off, then, Kova, a Nunes can lay that ball off for either a Doku, Grealish on the side, or it could be a Foden or a Savinho. You know what I mean? But this goal, and again, YouTube did not copy strike me. This is strictly for learning, analyzing purposes. But this goal is absolutely incredible because you see Kova kind of size it up. He opens up his stance. And whew, does he hit the post? He hits the post. He hits the post. That's how precise that shot was. And extreme confidence. Like, I don't want to say it out loud, but I think we'll be okay without a Rodri backup. How am I saying that? We let Calvin Phillips go. We got an injured Oscar Bob. Julian Alvarez is gone, and I'm saying we're okay with no more signings. Am I crazy? I might be crazy. Let me go to the comments. Dre, and he's adding Brian on this one. He goes, that too is a possibility. The media and ops sicken me sometimes. Every club find it difficult to get the ball, to get all their targets. It's a big lie that City just get whoever they want. Never did. We don't, and we also don't go out and get the superstars. We don't go out and get stars like Real Madrid. I spoke about this, and again, I love like this is a diary, right? Like Vader Games TV, and I know the way there's so much content out there, and I have a tendency to not always be. I'm not always chatty with this type of pace or cadence, right? Sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm finding my words, but this is a diary. This is a little bit of a journal, and I said the same thing. Like I said, City don't go out and splash the cash for the biggest signings. City don't go out and get the superstars. City do bring in the that's quality. That's a quality player right there, and raise their level. We do that since. I mean, Holland was a big go and get. Holland was huge. Holland was incredible go and get. But before that, under Pep in particular, we weren't doing that. Now before Pep, when we had to go when we went out and get the Yaya was that guy. When we went out and got David Silva was that guy. You know what I mean? Hey, when we had Welcome to Manchester, Tevez was that guy. So we've gone out and gotten those players before, but not for a very long time. We turn players into greats. Big up Rose in the build, of course. DC, my girl DC in the building too. She goes, "Hello, fellow Blues." You know what it is, and I know I've fallen behind on some of these comments. I'm gonna pick up the pace. Vader, if you don't mind, can you tell us about your City background, how you got into following City? I would. The long story is a little romantic one. The short story, for the sake of time. So Caribbean background. Mother's Jamaican, father's St. Vincent, and my uncle was over in the UK. He was like a shipsman, so he happened to be stint. He had a stint over in Manchester, coming through, telling me about football, and not to the same degree of, you know, son on his lap or anything like that, but came back with like programs and talking about Manchester, and in this case, it was Manchester City. I can't say that I was a fan from day one. Sorry, I can't say that I was a supporter from day one, because in my opinion, you're not a supporter until you actually go out and buy and support the club. But I was a fan, and I was a fan because of how he kind of steered me in terms of only liking one club, and my ins and outs in terms of watching and being passionate about it. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, and on this channel, I'll be honest with you. Again, Caribbean background. My uncle had tremendous pride when there were black players playing for Manchester City. So when that was the case, and obviously during the run with Feed the Goat, things kind of escalated from there. And to be completely honest with you, that's how my love for City grew. DC in the building. Good win today. Excellent win, DC. Excellent win. And we got confidence on it. Let me if you missed kind of like the breakdown, I hope you didn't, but if you did, rewind, kind of catch it. AJ, Dre P, where do you even see Pep going? Because I just have no idea. I have no idea that why I believe that he's truly chasing Sir Alex Ferguson. It makes a lot of sense. Like, you need to everyone in the chat, you need to set targets. You need to set goals, right? Like, that's when you get the best out of yourself. Even if we want to keep things as simple as, career paths, even if it's like your pursuit in terms of staying, remaining fit, or getting fit, you need to set a target. I think Pep set that target. Is it Sir Alex Ferguson's 13 Prems though? That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I would love for it to be the case. I really would. I would love for that to be the case. Rose saying what up. Everyone's saying what up in the building. BX, what it do? Good looking out. Says yo to AJ. What do we got here? I gotta do a better job of keeping track of my comments. City are a model for what successful investment is. Obviously, huge spending early is expected by ambitious owners, should be encouraged. Now that we see as massive investment returns. JP, whenever rivals want to say, you need to do it the right way, or other clubs have done it the right way, there's no right way when it comes down to investing, because those clubs that want to say they did it the right way, they invested before the other clubs did. Like they all had their spike in spending and support from their owners during their most historic or storybook times of their club. Like all of the rivals know, go back and see who your owners were and see what the difference maker was, why they were consistently winning. Happened for Arsenal, happened for Liverpool, happened for United, happened for Chelsea, happened for City. But it's a model for business. It's a model for entrepreneurship. You spend R&D, research and development, you spend early and you're kind of in the red for a bit, and then with your success you get back into the black. Everything's cool, right? Some of these conversations are so lazy. They're so un-CIA. You know what I mean? They're so un-CIA. Correct DP in the building. Let me see where I'm at. I'm trying to keep a track on the combo. Now, Dizzy-ish is in the building. He goes, I believe Sanchez got a hand on the ball, then onto the post. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, it was still a great shot. And you know what? Dizzy-ish, like many City players, or like all City players. God damn, I can't say all City players. But like many City players and like all Manchester City fans, Kova was classy. Kova didn't celebrate. Same way when Lampard scored versus Chelsea, he didn't celebrate. He just did his thing, went off to the side. I respect it. I respect it a lot. Now, I want to point out a few things. This show in particular, I really try to keep it concise. I want to talk about many topics with you, but I want to devote the right amount of time. In my opinion, it was a little play on words. 115, one question, 50 minutes, 115. But I think that's also the right amount of time, right? And we've got other topics to tackle. So my next show, which will be tomorrow, is going to be CIA. CIA Intelligent Agendas is tomorrow. I'm hoping my best to have an excellent City panel. I got to find a sweet spot with regards to time because everybody's on different time zones and work schedules. But I want it after the Spurs game. So stay tuned. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share this to other Blues that maybe want something different from a content standpoint. And with regards to timing, interaction, I'm going to do my best to kind of stay up to track with the points that come through. Let me see. Dre P goes, truth is, most United fans in the 90s and noughties were glory hunters. You can't fault them, especially depending on their age. I think it's only natural, of course, but I like that a back City base of their ambition before they won again this era. So that's just it. Like, I'm obviously a Raptors fan. They're playing terrible ball right now, right? They're playing terrible ball right now. When they're playing well, of course, there's a lot more attention paid to them. Do I still support them? Yeah. Do I still take my minions to games? Yeah. But it goes and flows. Now, when it comes down to Manchester City, the coverage with regards to what was happening internationally, that also got a lot less expensive. That also became a lot more accessible. Also, with the internet, that became a lot easier to kind of get a hold of. Whereas before games, I kid you not, I would listen to games with my uncle on the radio. So when I kind of hear things in terms of, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Sometimes it's not like remembering something by sound versus remembering something by sound and sight is totally different. And yeah, it's kind of interesting that way. But the support now or the access now is crazy. On our sports center out here in Toronto, we got TSN. I kid you not, there was a time where they did not cover any type of Prem highlights. And it wasn't that long ago. Like that was considered like a how do I put it? That was considered like a niche sport or one of the premium channels, so it wasn't really covered on mainstream unless something like ridiculous happened when it was the whole Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, like that La Liga stuff was actually highlighted pretty often because they were doing incredible things. But on a regular basis, they weren't showing each highlight of games, and they kind of still don't. They showed what happened in Liverpool, they showed what happened in United, they showed what happened in Arsenal, but all of the other games, nah, it's hit or miss. So the even with regards to how the sport's being covered, it's so much better now. I know I fell behind on some of the comments. What did I? Oh, no Y chromosome here, Vader. What? Oh, what happened here? What manager would you like to come in after Pep leaves? What manager continues to keep City at the elite level? So, oh, what manager next? I mean, Spurs fans are going to hate this, but I want to see more of Ange this season. But I like his approach. I like his approach. I want to see what he does in his second year. Um, I'd like to see what. Obviously, my sky blue glasses are on, but I'd like to see what company does. I really want to see what company does over there. Um, I'm gonna leave it at that right now. I'm gonna leave it at that. I gotta find out. I gotta get some more information, obviously. And apologies if I missed some of your comments. Doing my best to keep up. Fox, bless up. Good looking out. Um, DC goes because any coverage was United. All the coverage was United back in the day. All the coverage was it. There wasn't even a lot of coverage of Liverpool to be dead serious. There wasn't much coverage of Liverpool because they weren't doing anything in the league like that. It was all heavily United. Obviously during the Arsene Wenger and Arsenal like glory years, like those that 3, 4 year, 5 year stint, it was a lot of them. And when Jose came in and his I'm the special one, like yeah, that was a madness. But again, it was only particular moments or games, and even going back, to be honest with you, going back with some of the radio listings, those were only games. Those were only games against the Uniteds or the Blackburns or the Newcastles, like yeah, Leeds. Um, what's happening here? Drake P goes. Meanwhile, rivals sign Ozil, Di Maria, Pogba, Koulibaly, Varane. Regards sign Gareth Bale, Ibrahimovic, Van Persie. Like they rivals, they got a short term memory, and they'll crap on whatever Manchester City do. It's their way of coping with things. For me, the best answer post Pep, if you can get them, is either Inzaghi or Don Carlo's not coming. AJ, he's not coming. And honestly, I don't think City would go after him because it would be a case of there'd have to be a real teaching element, and I don't think that's an element of Don Carlo right now. Don Carlo's down to business, winning. Um, I said that because you assume I was a dude. Oh, Dizzy-ish, did I? My apologies. Um, no, my apologies. Good looking out. And I hope you didn't take offense to that. It's poor assumption often on these YouTubes, unfortunately. Um, yo, Jamaican Utes go. Ute says that Chelsea team needs time to build. Yeah, they got a wealth. I was talking with a Chelsea fan. Shout out to Marshall over at American Waffle. But when he was trying to describe some of his options, when he was breaking down, oh, I could do this in terms of back line or even in a midfield. Like he described a midfield that could have um, Lavia, Caicedo, and Caicedo, and Nkunku dropping Enzo, right? Like they've got so much over there. They've got so much. I think Xavi Alonso would be good. That would be good as well. That would be good as well. I also think De Zerbi, yeah, where, yeah, yeah, would be good with the current place. I agree. And I think those two managers are on the short list. The Zerbi for sure, I think is considered. Um, yeah, I think so. That's a good shout. AJ goes no Arteta. I don't think so. Although, do we take Arteta if Arsenal fire him? That would be a possibility. That would be a possibility. That's crazy. DC, I'd love company as manager and Gundo as assistant manager. Gundo's got a great future. Gundo player coach type thing, like kind of like what company did. I can see it. I can see it. Jamaican Ute goes, I won't wish my worst enemy on. What? What's wrong? Sanchez isn't that bad. Yo, Ute, that's not JAU. That's not that bad. I don't think Sanchez is that bad. I mean, he seems a little reckless, but he also came through with some saves. Speaking of saves, I'm getting long winded. Apologies. I need this show was to be short, so the last few comments I'm gonna get to, and then I'm gonna cut it off. Cut it off. I promise. Um, Speaking of saves, Ederson, clean sheet. Ederson, clean sheet. What? What? Flex on him. Flex on them. Listen, he gets talked down, disrespected way too much. What he does, where he was positionally, can't. And he's always so calm. He's so calm of a keeper. I take great pleasure in that, myself in particular, because I'm cool, calm, and collected. You know what I mean? I tend to do that. I tend to do that, and I think that energy is better handled when you're amongst a team. Like you don't need someone frantic and always like barking orders and stressed all the time. Like Pickford drives me crazy. Pickford, I think Pickford, like if he was a student, he'd be on some of that calm yourself down type substances. Like this kid is active too much. Like Pickford is always barking out, stressed, frowning on his face, he's always got something screwed up, like someone peed in his cornflakes or something like that. Ederson is like, hey, we'll get through this. Like, hey, move over here, set up. Like he doesn't seem to get rattled. I love that. I love that about him. And he came up clutch with a couple saves, a couple dinks that went over top that were threatening. He got there. He's going to continue to show and prove me right. I don't often do the I told you so. I hate the I told you so's. No one likes an I told you so. No one. Think about it. Think about it in your life. Dizzy, in your life, think about like when someone's come up to you and they're like, I told you so. No one likes that. No one likes that. So I don't like to do the I told you so, or 2 3 months ago I had told you this, I told you that. I'm gonna just say like, hey, on this channel we spoke about this already. I spoke about it, da da da. But to be like no one was listening to me and I was first to say this, like who really matters? But I will I will continue to shout out and be like, Ederson is that guy. Ederson is, in my humble opinion, the best keeper in the Prem. He's easily the best footballing keeper in the Prem. Like a complete footballer playing keeper, Ederson's the best. Argue with somebody else. You ain't arguing with me. Best footballer playing in the keeper position is Ederson. Go argue with your friends. AJ goes, Dre P, I hear you with Zabi. But I feel if he ever comes to England, it's Liverpool, the club where he made his name. Yeah, but he also will have tremendous influence from Pep if he were to kind of like look again, because it's all about the project. It's all about your legacy as a manager. It's all about whether you're going to have the tools to do what you want to execute. Like apply your vision. You know what I mean? So, eh, City might be the place. City might be the place. When everybody wants to talk about pull, City got that pull. I think Gundo is going to be a great manager. I agree. He's going to need some time though. I don't think he comes to Manchester City like that. But if there's going to be past players coming and getting a chance at City, how amazing would that be, right? If we had a chance to have Vincent Company come through here If we have a chance for Gundo coming through here, that'd be amazing. I thought of that, but I think it's about time. If he's ready to move to Liverpool, has a manager already, you think he'll tell City no thanks? I don't think he turns down City. How do you turn down the City? DC's agreeing with me. Let's go Ederson, 100%. I have no time for Ederson slander. Why not exactly DC? Dizzy, she says Eddie is cold. Yeah, listen, no, not stealing Cole Palmer's celebration, but Eddie's been cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Rose, my gal goes Vader. Definitely not Arteta. she does not. She does not want Arteta. Okay, I'm just enjoying Pep until that dreaded time comes. You know what? Sometimes, listen, if you've gone on holiday, if you've gone on vacation, and you happen, you happen to run into someone that you kind of vibe with, you have a good time with, and it's just for the vacation portion of it. Just enjoy it while the time lasts. And I think that's kind of like what it is. Like we're so lucky to have Pep. Enjoy it while it lasts. It's not like the club isn't going to be structured or aren't structured in a way where they're not going to have a very, very good candidate to come through and possibly do a great job. We've had very good managers before Pep. Pep just happens to be great, but we've had good managers before. Like look at Pellegrini. He came through. He won us a double, right? Can also look at Mancini. Mancini was able to give us that Prem, gave us that FA. So sorry, did Pellegrini give us? No, he gave us. Oh, he gave us the Carabao. He gave us a League Cup as well as a Prem. But you know what? When we have wins like that, when we have managers like that, we should have confidence with who's next. Whoever gets picked next. All right, let me get through these comments. I love you guys. Dre goes. Dre, think he is off to Real Madrid. What? Really? Next summer, then Don Carlo leaving. Could be the case. He saved our hides in that Champions League final. He has my undying loyalty. Yeah, man. We were invincible in the Champions League run. If we want to do agendas, if we want to do CIA agendas, we had an invincible run in that Champions League. Greatest ever. I agree that. Yep. All right, let me stay on point here. Dre, what is AJ saying? Dre P, of course, he would the job, but I believe he wants to do what Stevie G when Liverpool as manager. Stevie G. What Stevie G won for, was it Celtic? Where did he win? But he obviously didn't have a success in the Prem. He's a good penalty taker too. Ederson is phenomenal. Pep said before Holland got here, Pep did say Ederson was the best penalty taker for the club. And I remember when we were like struggling to score pens. Talking about pens, I'm going off on tangents. I'm normally very concise. This is a great conversation. I mean, if we were anywhere else, sitting at the bar or whatever, just linking up. And when I say it doesn't need to be alcohol, it could just be drinks, but we just having a combo, and you guys are sparking different combos. Bernardo Silva, I don't want you taking any more penalties. Let me look in the camera. Bernardo Silva, I don't want you taking any more penalties. No more. No more. You're phenomenal. What you did in the game in regulation, amazing. But no more pens, because your pens seem to be 50-50. One time good, one time bad. You had the bad pen for us. And then you had the good pen for your Euros. And then you had a bad pen for us again. Like, can't have it anymore. Dre P goes, Agree, Vader. Eddie is the best. Saw the ping pass to Doku today. Yep, man's nasty like that. Took out the entire Chelsea field, and we need more of that. We need a lot of more of that trust also for Holland. I want to see a lot of those balls over top, those passes over top. Don't be immature, but those passes over top, Holland kind of deflecting it or knocking it off to a Savinho, to a Doku, to a KDB, which we saw versus Arsenal 2 seasons ago. I want more of that. I want to see that in Holland's repertoire, in the club's repertoire. Rose goes, I agree with you on Ederson 100%. He can also take a mean penalty. Yeah, we're on point. We're on point. Now, I see the comments. You guys are keeping it active, and I'm going to respect all of them and try to get through them. AJ, here are true State City fans. Wait. Here are true State City are factually 4 trophies behind Arsenal, but because of your Champions League, they're definitely an argument. You're already a bigger club. I'm okay not saying that I'm bigger than Arsenal. I'm okay not saying that I'm not bigger than Liverpool, and I'm okay not saying that I'm not bigger than United. Could have an argument when it comes down to Chelsea. Could have an argument when it comes down to Spurs. Could have an argument when it comes down to Aston Villa and West Ham, Newcastle. I mean, there's an argument there. If you haven't hit that like button, continue to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is the bonus show. I've been speaking close onto an hour, and I will cut it off. Again, 115, one question, 15 minutes. But as I speak and interact with you guys, we get onto other combos. And I'm being respectful, not to step on any of these topics moving forward. Dre P goes, anyone saw companies stop moaning rant? Don't think that it will work with big players. I disagree. I think as a player, what company was, he's been there, done that. Like he knows, he can tell those players, I know what it takes. I know what you need to do. And honestly, some players, uh, they respect that no nonsense type. Now, is it being undressed in front of others? That's where I would agree. They may not like that. Jordan in the building, he goes, don't usually prop up City, and I know I'm late to the chat, but Savinho and Doku look very good today. I like the look of the wingers aimed more to supplying Holland with crosses rather than cutting it in. I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting combination because I think strong and weak-footed Savinho, I think, is better than Doku. Doku's very right leg dominant, but the change of pace and the forcing teams to worry about supporting their defenders, their wide defenders, is either going to vacate the central defenders to give space to Holland, or it's going to force the midfielders or wingers to have to get back. Because I saw Cole Palmer often getting very, very deep to help defend. If we get that, ooh, we cooking. Good looking out, Jordan. Appreciate you being on the show, being part of the show. I'm looking forward to watching Spurs Leicester tonight. Yeah, I'm catching that. I'm catching that game. I will be studying that, doing some homework. Trust me. Dre P goes, Jordan agreed. Before, it was just about double teaming Doku. Yep, that's not always an option with Savio on the other side. Outlets now. It's going to be nasty. And when you got Rodri knowing exactly where to be, it's something when you know where to be, when positional play, timing's everything. Timing is everything. Steven goes, interesting that Real Madrid drew today. Football won today. Steven, I said it. Football won today. Real Madrid drawing, amazing. Inter drew as well in their league, amazing. Now, they're probably most likely both go on to win their leagues, but I like that they drew. I do. I agree on that. Sorry, Bernie. All right, let me. Oh, you guys got me. Okay, let me try to be faster here. Real Madrid can afford to draw over there in La Liga. Yeah. They're not a better team than City or Arsenal. Doesn't surprise me when they draw games, etc. Yeah, it's different over there at La Liga. I think what I hate is that they often coming into Champions League have the luxury of kind of being just a little more rested or not as stressed with their league. That gives them better focus for Champions League. Steven goes, I agree, Dre. It's just hilarious that the super team that they have, exactly the super team that they had, the addition of Kylian Mbappe, you are not supposed to be drawing the first game of the season. Like I look forward to kind of hearing some of the combos. Yes, let me be honest with you. Because of some of the commuting that I do, I don't raise my nose. I'm not snooty or too good for Twitter X Spaces, but I look forward to hearing some of the combos because these are some of the fans that I don't think they're in the comments of YouTube. So just to hear what they have to say with Real Madrid is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I'd rather be a small team that wins everything. Hey, continue, Steven. Continue to say that I've got no fans. I'm cool with that. Continue to say that no one shows up at the Etihad. Do all of that. Do all of that, and we'll just continue to pick up these trophies and celebrate amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? I'm completely okay with that. DC goes. They had to close their silly roof to improve the atmosphere against us. DC, exactly. They brought out all the stops. They knew what it meant, and their manager admitted that the only way they were getting through that Champions League was to play for draws, and then it's the lottery with regards to penalties. That's it. Yeah, Steven, 100%. That's what I think. Like, you don't embarrass players, but because you've also seen it from Pep. Pep came in and he was like, "Shut up, shut the f up, sit down." I don't, I don't. What did he say? We're all tired. I'm tired. Or did he remind them, no, you're not tired, whatever. But he said, like, tired is out of your mind. Get that out of there. And he was cussing up a storm. But yeah, sometimes you need that. But because you've been there and done that, you got that respect to have accomplished and to have won it all. They listen to you. Dre P, this big club thing is just a British cultural banter thing. Doesn't matter how many fans a club has or how many trophies you win 20 years ago. It's about current operations and winning. I agree. I agree. I entertain it here and there. But I have no problem being not being labeled as the biggest and best clubs because even amongst Liverpool and United, they keep arguing amongst themselves about who's bigger or who's not. And if you're ever in real estate, you don't want to have the biggest house on the street. You don't want to have the biggest house on the street. Just a little advice. Um, Dizzyish. She goes, that company rant was much to do about nothing. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. But sometimes there's just that like drawing the line in the sand so they kind of know what you're capable of. But I hear what you're saying. DC company learned from the best. Sit down, nobody talk. You're right. It's classic. Classic. Absolutely DC. LC. DC also goes, Dre, I agree. I'd rather watch my team make history currently. This is it. This is it. And this when we talk about history, this is where it's like if we happen to do it again, it's only game one. We got 37 more games in this league to go. But if we happen to do it again, it is truly incredible. It's truly incredible to have amazing winning moments as an adult. I don't know the ages of you in the chat. I would never ask that. It's actually unimportant. But whenever in life you have those successes, it's just incredible to have something that you've never even imagined or thought of, or to also do something that no one else has done. Like the four-peat, absolutely incredible, and I celebrated all summer long. Like uh, football wasn't even happening, and I was making up reasons to wear my kit around. I was wearing my kit around. I kid you not, two houses over, my neighbor is a United fan, and he hates when I'm cutting the lawn in this. He's like, there you go again. Um, and I hated losing the FA to him, but the to be winning like this at your like adult age, yeah, childhood kind of messed up. It was very different. Obviously, I'm across the pond. I don't have people teasing and making comments or living in the city and that kind of stuff. But to be celebrating like this, to actually be the supporter like that as well, to like get some of the memorabilia, yeah, absolutely incredible. But let me stop rambling on. I want to thank each and every one of you in the comments. Um, Drago's LOL. For me, Pep was more general in his publicized rants, not so individual like company, but don't know what happens behind the scenes. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear that point. Laugh out loud, Dre. I feel you. We also don't know what's said behind closed doors. I'm sure Pep has done his fair share of individual slump. Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, he did say or did suggest that Calvin Phillips was overweight, like things like that. Pep can be cryptic as well. But again, these are also men. Like when you're a man, when you're a woman at a certain age, you know the territory of where all this is coming from. You know that it's not from a place of not a place of insults. It's a place of as a manager, as a coach, I'm trying to trigger you. I'm trying to get into your head so that you perform better. That's where it's directed towards. It's not vindictive. It's not evil spirited. DC goes, we are witnessing the peak of our club. Oh, is it the peak? Easy, DC. Easy. Yeah, you know what? You can have more than one. Yeah, you can have more than one peak. Like the peak can be here, it can plateau, and then it can. I hear you. I hear you, DC. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill you on that comment. I hear that a lot. Enjoy it. Respect this manager. Cherish him. He's one of a kind. I hear that. I hear that. I'm old enough to remember when we were garbage. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember paying for premium, paying for premium cable that provided the Prem, but not Division One, and having to eat that cost for a season. Yeah, yeah. Big up Vader in the chat. Yo, large up Steven. Thank you all for being a part of the show. 100% interaction. Great time of night as well. I was able to do it. Interesting circumstances allowed me to be able to do it tonight. Let me go say prayers, put my minions to bed. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the show and being in the comments. It is love and support always. Good looking out. Also, let me point out that my next show will be CIA Intelligent Agendas. I'm doing my best to have a panel of other City fans with their interesting takes as it comes through. But those of you watching on the replay, please drop a comment. I interact with all of them. And if you happen to know other City fans that would enjoy this content, please share it with them. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. This is an episode of, this is the newest episode of 115. One question, 50 minutes, 115. City 2-0 win over Chelsea. It's given me tremendous confidence. It should give other City fans tremendous confidence because we did it with no Rodri. We did it with with a Foden coming off of the bench, and we did it with no Stones, no Grealish. So our depth is going to be absolutely incredible. Be part of whatever the next comment or next show topic will be. You have a say in it. I'm kind of leaning towards who has the best chance at breaking EPL records. And I want to also do a kind of like a who's going to score assist tracker for the season. But catch me on the next show. I've talked long enough, and thank you for being a part of my company, being a part of the show. I'm Vader Games, and let me try and do this with the outro. I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit of a recap. I'm Vader Games, and I'm out.